Radio Energy, broadcasting to you live. Go to radioenerg.net.
We're going to be talking about the Premier League and the results from the weekend. The big game was that Manchester United won, Arsenal won game. Arsenal, they really didn't play well, but they managed to get a result. They only had one shot on target, and that was Olivier Giroud's late equaliser. Disappointing result for Man United in that context. They really should have put Arsenal to bed by then.
Yeah, it feels more like a loss than it does a draw. They were unfortunate to lose the game so late on as well, and it happened a couple of seasons ago, I think maybe even last season, at Old Trafford as well, where Manchester United were winning and Arsenal just nick a late goal just to secure a draw. And Arsenal themselves are still undefeated since that defeat to Liverpool at the start of the season, so they've got that going for them. But I think Jose Mourinho even said himself that Manchester United are probably the unluckiest side in the league.
Are they though?
I think certain games they get outplayed. I think the game against Manchester City, it was neck and neck, but at the end of the day they were just outplayed. But there's certain decisions, like refereeing decisions. I think one of the main ones I can think of is that challenge from David Luiz on Fellaini and the 4-0 defeat. They were certainly outplayed in that game, but it was still very early in the game, and if David Luiz was sent off, that could have completely changed perspective of the game. But it's at the same time, it's the kind of the argument of what if. And Manchester United really need to put to bed a lot of these games, and I think after the games in winter, they can maybe really get back on track in the new year. I'm saying they should get back on track from this point on and go back in a win streak, but I think after, I know they've still got games during the winter period, but just kind of that time to kind of focus and take in what's happened so far in the season and then just take it from there. And I think Jose Mourinho will know himself that, and as well with the lack of cup games, both in Europa League and FA Cup and the League Cup, I think having just none of that until the new year as well after tonight will help them as well. But they've got small boosts going for them. They've got Zlatan signing another contract soon to take on.
Right, we're going to talk about Zlatan because Ibrahimovic didn't play against Arsenal, and trying to watch it from a more neutral perspective, I actually thought that United played quite well, and they looked quite more of a threat when they had Martial, Rashford, Mata coming off the right, Herrera in behind, than they would have perhaps done if Ibrahimovic would have played. So going into Man United next game, does Ibrahimovic automatically come straight back into the team after a suspension, or do you go the same?
I'd like to see Ibrahimovic play for kind of a long time under Jose Mourinho. Whenever they played a game, I didn't really think, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I'd like to see Ibrahimovic come in and maybe just provide a wee bit more attack, just to kind of give that threat, make teams think, what are we going to do here? How are we going to mark him? Rather than just say, United are going to stay back for a lot of the match and defend, because that's what Mourinho likes to do. I'd like to see that, I'm a big fan of attacking football. I just want to see them kind of challenge a wee bit more.
Yeah.
I think as well with Ibrahimovic, he's been playing in a probably not as intense league in the past few years, playing in the French league, and still getting goals in Europe when he plays other Champions League sides. But I think a lot of people had expectation of him when he's coming into this league that he was going to score consistently.
Well, he said that himself. He is the most egotistical man in football, and he did say that he was going to come into the Premier League and make it his own. So, and
I think it's probably a tougher challenge than he first anticipated.
Right,
he's a lot older than he was, and he's with it though. He doesn't have any international football to now worry about. But I'm still fairly confident that he will get back to the form you've seen in previous seasons, and I've full confidence that he will do well the rest of the season and next season looking like as well.
Yep. David said that draw felt like a loss for United, and it is because they are now an incredible 9 points behind the leaders Chelsea, who moved top this weekend after a 1-0 win away to Middlesbrough. It was Chelsea's 6th consecutive win in the league. They still haven't conceded the goal since that 3-0 defeat to Arsenal. They just keep winning games, Chelsea, don't they?
They just kind of look unstoppable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard to score against them. They've got such a solid defence, and also their defence, the kind of two wing-backs, well, the two full-backs also act as wing-backs, making them so much more threatening on the attack.
Yeah, and
especially.
it's good you say that, because I mean it's Marcos Alonso who people sort of questioned when they signed him in the summer.
Well, he used to play for Bolton.
Yeah.
So people rightly
and
questioned.
Victor Moses, who has been written off by Chelsea for seasons now, and has been constantly shipped out on loan, and Conte's brought him back in, and he's made him work in this new formation, which you have to just say is good management, really, isn't it?
It really is. I think he's a lot more kind of he's got a lot more spirit than previous Chelsea managers. I think that rubs off on the team, kind of giving them a wee bit more energy and a wee bit more belief.
Yeah, he's definitely revitalised in this team, and he's playing attacking, playing defensively, and just like Bryce said as well, Conte's just transformed him back.
One thing you could say about the past 6 games that they've had is that they maybe haven't had too many difficulties, apart from that. Saying that, they have beaten Leicester, who won last season. They have beaten United, who have spent a lot of money in the summer. A good win away at Southampton, a good win at home against Everton. But the 2 next games that they have are 2 real tests. The first one this Saturday is at home to Spurs, and then the week after that they play City away. So this is a real crunch time for that Conte team, because we saw his last 2 results against the title challengers was that 2-1 defeat against Liverpool and that 3-0 defeat against Arsenal. So it's going to be a big test of that back three. Would you all agree?
Yeah, but I think since that as well, though, he's changed formation.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
I think that's completely changed the kind of aspect and the spirit of the team.
Yep. Liverpool, they had a 0-0 draw away to Southampton. From my perspective, I thought they played quite well, but they were sort of just didn't take the chances, really. I think all teams have these days. It just didn't quite happen for them.
Didn't quite click.
No.
I think for you, probably the less said about that game, the better.
Yeah, that's probably true. So we'll move on. We mentioned Spurs. They had a really good win over West Ham. But Man City, it was the return of Yaya Toure. It was amazing. He came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He'd been frozen out by Pep Guardiola since the start of the season, really. But he came back into the team and he scored 2 goals away to Crystal Palace. So I guess it feels like a new signing, doesn't it? Having Yaya Toure back in the team.
I think just as soon as the BBC African Football of the Year award comes about, Yaya Toure's back in the team and he's back buying goals. And
but it does feel like that. I mean, he honestly just came out of nowhere and he scores 2 good goals.
From almost getting upset about a birthday cake to getting back in first team, it's just like it came out of nowhere, really. I think nobody really expected Yaya to get back in the team. And
we saw by these two goals, it's important to remember how big a player he's been for them, at times over the past few seasons.
I think Yaya Toure's biggest criticism was at times he just didn't show up in games and he was quite lazy. But Pep kind of not even paying attention to him, really, kind of showed him, you're going to need to work for your place. And that kind of, he's finally clicked, okay, I'm going to need to do something special here to get him to notice me, get him to pick me again. And he's really showed that.
Did Yaya Toure play under Pep Guardiola in time at Barcelona?
I think briefly, but if he did, he played as a centre-back.
Yeah.
He's obviously evolved his position since then and become this, goal-scoring midfielder.
Yeah.
But yeah, that'll be just such a boost for them to
and I think
suddenly find that you've got Yaya Toure you can just suddenly rely on.
The times Manchester City have won the league, Yaya Toure's been a big part of that.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think Premier League sides will look at that and maybe get haunted by it, that Yaya's back, and it's one game, 2 goals, but at the end of the day it is one game. But if he can still play consistently, he scores goals or get involved in goals, then I don't see why not for him to play.
Get in touch. Go on. Tweet at Radio ENRG. Email radioenrg@gmail.com.